All right, let's watch this video. 3 True Rainy Night Alone Animated Horror Stories by MJV Animations. So I hope you guys like this. My name is Husher. I'm a cursed potato goddess. Welcome to my channel. Whoa! If you guys like this video, I hope you can join my streams and stuff. That would be really fun. Let's go.
I live on the outskirts of a mid-sized town in Wyoming. The whole reason I live here is because owning a huge plot of land isn't as impossible of a task as it can be in most other states.
True, that's the real horror. The housing expenses.
My house is small, but it was cozy enough for living alone.
Icy Splashy, thank you so much. Get some good rest. Sleep well. Sweet dreams to all of you who are going to sleep. Mwah, mwah. Good night kisses. Sleep well.
This happened 4 years ago, in 2019. It was spring, and we were going through a month of pouring rain almost every single day. It was a Sunday, and I was home from work, spending the day watching TV and resting.
Nice.
Sometime
Sounds
around
like a good
6 or
day.
7, I got an unexpected knock at my door. I barely
Okay,
heard
listen, can I just say this about, I'm not sure if it's like in the US or something. You guys don't have fucking walls or fences, you know, gates. You literally just have a porch and people can walk up to your door. Like, that's kind of crazy to me. That's a little crazy to think of because I feel like in a lot of Southeast Asian countries, we have gates, you know, like we have like a wall, a fence wall, and we have a gate that you have to ring the doorbell. Like if you knock on that gate, nobody will hear you, you know. You have to ring the doorbell, and then beyond that gate it's like now and then that's the house door, you know, like a porch and a house door or something. So it's really kind of weird that in like some countries they just have no gate, no nothing, no wall, no fence, it's just okay, here's my door. We have gun. Bro, like why not just get a fucking gate? You don't need a gun if you got a gate, you know? Was the guy mocking us? Yeah, he is. I don't know. Anyways, let's get on with the video. Sorry.
I got an unexpected knock at my door.
Knock,
I
knock.
barely heard it through the rain, and when I answered the door,
Like, you just opened your door? Do you not look out your window? Like, who's that? You got, I don't know, like your CCTV? I don't know. Or like, you go outside of your house door and look at the gate and be like, who's that? You know? Like, you just open a door and then they could just like grab you and kill you.
even more
And
surprised
steal your
to see
stuff,
it was
you know? Like, push by you, hit your head, and then they just steal your stuff. I don't know.
some random guy, not a mailman or anything of the sorts. Someone coming all the way
Natural
out onto
selection. Yes, too bad. You dumb, you die.
my property without notice was very unusual, being that it was far out of the way. "How can I help you?" I said.
Wow, he sounds like a
The
robot.
guy, looking somewhere in his late 20s,
He looks like he has
said
a
he'd
black
been
eye.
camping out in the woods nearby and had gotten into some trouble and needed a place to stay for the night.
Wait, I'm sorry. A stranger knocks on my door and I just open it. And then he says, "Can I stay over?" Huh? Huh? I'm sorry, what? Oh, so, okay, sure. Sounds like a great idea. I want to die tonight.
With the location of my house, if he wasn't lying, then showing up at my doorstep would make sense because I was the closest place within the woods by at least 5 or 6 miles. It was
How amazing. He barely has neighbors. He's like, this is the closest house, 5 to 6 miles, because I'm beside the fucking woods. This guy doesn't want to live. I think he doesn't want to live.
was also pouring out, which made me feel even worse for him, but it still didn't take away from the possible danger of letting a stranger into my home. I offered him a phone call to get a ride into town, but the guy denied my offer. After bluntly saying he couldn't stay here, the guy walked off.
Well,
I watched him go down the dirt road a little ways.
at least he left
then
peacefully.
He veered off and walked into the woods. As odd as that was, I didn't have it on my mind
Pew
for
pew
more than a
time?
few minutes before
Listen, I don't want to be a murderer. Just live in a place that's like more secured.
I was back to watching TV. I didn't check the time very often, but it had to be at least 2 hours later and well into the night when I saw an orange glare coming from the window by my backyard. I got up and moved the curtain. Through the rain and fog, I saw a campfire right in the middle of the woods outside my house.
That's a
It
fire
was
hazard.
small, flickering under a large tree as the rain poured down on it. Standing next to it, there was the outline of a figure holding something. I couldn't tell though if he was facing my house or into the woods. After a moment, I closed the curtains and picked up my phone, calling the police to let them know about this person outside my house. I knew it would take probably an hour for them to get here, and whoever was out there wasn't doing me any harm, but at the very least I wanted them.
I was thinking he was holding a log. Bro was just trying to make a fucking fire because he's gonna freeze to death and it's raining and it's cold. And this guy's just like, oh my god, he's out to kill me. But I mean, there was a guy at your door who wanted to sleep in your house and you're worried about the guy making a fire? You fear unlock killer saying something really funny when I'm playing dead. Oh my god, that would actually be funny. I think the worst thing is if they start singing. I don't know if I can stop myself from singing along. You know, if they suddenly started singing, yes, I've been broken hearted, and then they stop, I would like have to try so hard to not sing, oh, since the day we parted. Like, don't do it, Usher.
Away from my house before I went to bed. Once I got off the phone with the officer, I checked the window again.
That's gonna start
The
a forest
fire was
fire.
still burning lightly, but the figure wasn't there.
Bro just probably went
Then
to
I
get more
heard
firewood.
Footsteps coming toward the house. I ran to the other window and caught sight of him walking past with a hunting rifle in his hand.
Is that a gun?
Before he
Oh, it's a
turned
hunting
the
rifle.
corner and went to the front door. He
Oh.
banged on it a few times, then it went quiet.
Oh my god.
I grabbed my self-defense hand.
Bro, you guys, you literally predicted. You were like, grab a gun, use a gun. And now we see it. I see it in action, okay? What we're gonna get a shootout here? This is a wild, wild west? Like, just little fucking gates, guys. Just get a fucking wall and gates, electric fence, I don't know.
Handgun from the hallway closet and hid around the wall, still trying to process the situation I was in. He hit the door
Yeah, I'm
again.
trying to process with my
This time
gun.
I could tell it was with the stock of his rifle,
Ooh.
nearly breaking a panel out of the door.
Oh my god, bro is trying to break his door.
In this moment, I could only think that I had to try to deter him immediately before it becomes life or death for one of us. I
my
shot
God.
around toward the edge of the door frame.
So I started blasting. Okay. We can hurt you if you shoot them first. Oh my, that's not a great way of thinking. Violence isn't always the answer. Maybe there's other ways, you know, before you get to that. Oh my gosh.
Deafening myself for a second as the shot rang through the house.
Process? Why
When
don't
my
you
hearing
process
came
these
back,
bullets?
all
Oh
I
gosh.
heard was the rain pouring down. No footsteps, banging, or yelling. I gathered up courage after 5 minutes
Oh,
of
now he uses his peephole.
no sounds and looked out the peephole, seeing an empty porch, and outside in the yard were clear footprints going away from the house. He must have run right after the shot during the couple seconds I couldn't hear.
Exactly. No, I didn't say talk things out. Get a fucking electric fence. So no one you don't approve of can approach your goddamn door, you know, or get a gate with walls around your house. It's not even that crazy. It's literally just made of concrete.
Police did a thorough search and found some strange details. Out by where the campfire was, they found a duffel bag with evidence of it having been buried nearby
Oh.
and likely dug up just hours before the attack. What they
Well,
told
technically, he attacked. The guy just like knocked and banged on his door.
me is that it was most likely a burglary kit, or possibly even a murder kit, that was planted in advance with the intent to be dug up and used later on. This means whoever attacked me
He's so
had
shocked.
planned it and had been right outside my house at least once before that night. Why he attacked me specifically is not known, and who and where he is currently is still no closer to being figured out than it was 4 years ago. I still live in the same house and worry every day that he might come back.
Bro, it's like, welp, I still live here. I'm scared though, but it's
I
okay.
was 22 at the time and living in a very small one-bedroom house in the cheapest area of my city. After work on a Friday
Hey,
night,
look, it's you guys. It's a clip of you guys. And maybe me. I don't play this kind of game though.
I hopped online to game with a bunch of my friends. It was the perfect night for staying
Hey,
up late.
this
with
is us. Look at chat. Mikor, lol his eyes. Chatter POV.
heavy downpour outside and no work or school the
Bro,
next day.
how is his internet holding up though?
We played for
Oh, there's
probably
his
2
PC.
hours before a sudden sound had me put everything on pause for a minute.
Pausing a game? What game is this? Online game? Oh my god, this is fake story. He stopped the time. Oh my god.
It was a thump.
Is there
sounding like it was
a game that you can actually pause, like if it's multiplayer and online? I don't think so, right? Like, look at the game. It's a shooting game.
late, with heavy downpour outside and no work or school the next day.
Like, that's a shooting
We played
game.
for probably 2 hours before a sudden sound had me put everything on pause for a minute. It was a thump.
Maybe he wasn't really playing with his friends. It's just his imaginary friends. It's not really his friends. It's just a bunch of AI.
Sounding like it
Oh
was
yeah, my friends, the NPCs.
upstairs. My initial concern was a possible leak in the roof caused by the rainfall, so I went up to
A
look.
leak will make a bang.
The only rooms upstairs were the single bedroom
Oh, there's
and
his
the half
room.
bathroom, and neither
Half
of them
bathroom.
had any signs of
What's a half bathroom? Does it have a half toilet or half a shower? Half a sink? I don't know. It's a half bathroom. Everything's just half. I don't know.
leaks anywhere. So I
funny.
ran back down and got back online
He
with
doesn't have lights. You're right. How I was gonna say he doesn't have electricity.
my friends. I was on for a while, only getting off at 2 a.m. because everyone else went to bed. I shut everything off and sat on the couch
That's a
with
big
some
phone.
snacks while I watched YouTube on my phone. 10 minutes in, I heard another thump. It was from upstairs
Just have a
again,
bidet and use
but
it
it
as
was
a
so
3-in-1.
muffled
Oh my
that it
gosh.
almost sounded like it was on the roof or something.
I mean, to be honest, if a bathroom has a bidet, okay, wait. I think there's a higher likelihood that a bathroom would have a toilet than a bidet. You know, I think it's weird if a bathroom only has a bidet. I've never seen that before.
I did an even more thorough search of both my bedroom
He looks
and
like
the bathroom
Ben
up
10,
there,
like
but there
Ben.
wasn't anything showing itself to be the cause of the sound. I was sure it wasn't thunder either, because it vibrated
Maybe if you turn on the lights.
through the
joking.
walls, like something literally hitting the house.
Oh.
After 10 minutes of looking around, I was so determined to figure it out that I put on my shoes and went out into the rain to see
Why?
if there was something more noticeable from outside.
Why? Why would you do
At
this?
first I saw nothing of significance.
Oh my god, he has a fence. I'm so proud of him. Wow, look at this guy. Guy has a fence. Oh my gosh. Hooray. Ooh.
Then I noticed a tree branch getting pretty close to the side of my house. It was a large and sturdy branch though, that was a good 3 or 4 feet away from the siding. And even in the rain, it wasn't really swaying all that much. It seemed
Bro, what are you doing at fucking 2 a.m. going outside of your house in the fucking pouring rain, trying to figure out what the thumping was? Just go to fucking bed, bro. Like, just sleep, man.
unlikely that it could reach the side and bang up against the side of the house. As I looked
I'm Asian and I'm not dumb to go out in the middle of the night to check what's thumping. Like, if you think I will leave my comfy house to go out into the rain? Nah, that could keep thumping on my fucking house. I'll figure it out tomorrow when it's not raining and I've had a good proper sleep. Okay?
Looked at it though.
I'd be doing the thumping that late at night. I'm the thumper. As a white person, that be some white people Nah, it can't be. And I have more faith in them than that, at least, I think. I hope.
As there was a small window on the house that the tree kind of covered up. It was higher than my bedroom window,
getting wet.
meaning it had to be an attic. I had no idea there was an attic at this house.
You don't know your own house? Is this your house or whose house is this? He's just like, I didn't know my house had an attic. Bro, what the fuck? Huh? Is this your first time in this house?
The hatch was definitely nowhere noticeable, and the roof wasn't a steep slope, so it didn't look like there would even be room for one. This hidden window was the first clue I'd ever seen to indicate there being an attic.
And that's when I met the guy that lived there for 20
I went
years.
inside, even more curious than I was before, and started searching for this hatch that I had to have somewhere.
That is so strange. How could you like have a part of your house that you didn't even know of? How can someone not see a window? Like, he saw it when it was raining. Like, how could you not see that when it wasn't raining and it was daytime?
A minute, but I found it inside my bedroom closet. It was small.
His face. Oh no. Oh my gosh.
And perfectly smooth with the ceiling, basically blending in aside from the tiny gaps from where it opens. I stood up on a box and pulled it down, releasing a rusty ladder from the opening.
Oh my god.
Immediately, I was hit with a rotten smell, followed by another thump sound.
Oh my gosh.
From below, I could tell the attic was extremely short, maybe 2 feet tall at most.
Bro, I'm gonna lock that fucking attic door. I'm gonna duct tape it, put a lock on it, put like a block under it, and I'll check it tomorrow when it's daytime. Or maybe call the police.
Climbed up carefully and looked into this tiny space. Basically a wide, dark tunnel.
Look at his face.
And at the end by the window, I could make out a figure, ducked down on all fours and looking straight at me.
Oh my god, that gives me the
I
motherfucking
almost
chills.
fell off the ladder, trying to jump down and run away. I heard them shuffling around as I got my phone and left the house.
This is the part where you grab a gun, sir. Like, okay, these are the moments where the gun is like, okay, I think we need a self-defense here because this person is in this thing or whatever the fuck is in my house. You know, I did all the precautions, I have a gate and everything, but if I found this person in my house, you're trespassing, pew pew, goodbye.
House, calling 911 in my driveway. The cops got there and detained the man, who was just some homeless person.
It's okay, it's just a person. It's not some kind of cryptid or whatever, but he's certainly looking not like a person. He really needs the cream. Yeah, this guy needs the cream.
Apparently he climbed the tree up to the window and made his way in, staying up there for at least a week without me having noticed. The absurdity of it all was almost unbelievable.
1 week?
I moved out very soon after that.
Oh,
and
thank
every
God.
house since, I've always checked the attics. But the one thing that has stayed with me is the image of that man at the end of the attic, on his hands and knees, staring at me with eyes resembling both fear and anger.
Bro, that's actually fucking traumatic. I don't think I'll ever own a house with an attic ever again. Like, that's how bad it would be. I'd be like, no attics. Never. No attics, no basements. Fuck that shit.
In my mid-20s, I worked at a retail store as the overnight manager. Okay, this is the last story, I think. It wasn't a big place, and the only reason I was technically a manager was because I'd be the only overnight worker. So, I was in charge of checking stock, filling shelves, and sometimes receiving order shipments. I was very satisfied with the job and never found myself hating the work. And up until this, I hadn't had anything really happen. It was a weekday night, and a storm was just setting in as I started my shift. Over the first hour of being there, the rain had picked up and the wind was hitting the building much harder than before, making a lot of noise. I was filling the shelves for the first 2 hours, trying to get the time-consuming tasks out of the way first. As I was in the aisle though, I heard a thud sound resonating through the building. It sounded like it came from the back of the store in the warehouse section, where our delivery bay was. I walked over and saw the solid metal back door that truck drivers use to get in when making deliveries. The more I thought about it, the more I convinced myself that the thud sounded like a bang at this door, as if a driver was trying to make a delivery, but there were none scheduled for tonight.
Then leave it.
I opened the door and was met with a face full of cold rain and wind. I stuck my head out briefly to look down at the shipping bay and saw no trucks, so I closed the door and dried off. While walking back to the aisle, I assumed the noise was just the building
That sucks, man. Bro got wet for nothing.
having shifted a bit from the wind, or maybe just some strange sounding thunder that I hadn't noticed before. I continued working for
There's always a camera at those doors. Why did he not check that? Because he wasn't using his head. You know, if I'm indoors and it's raining, you cannot make me go out unless I really have to.
another full hour before taking a lunch break in the back office, spending maybe 15 minutes there before heading back. But while I was walking through the store, I got this strange feeling, like everything had gone silent aside from the rain ticking on the roof. It gave me chills, and as I reached the end of the aisle, I saw something that made my heart almost stop. Right next to my cart, halfway down,
I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. I was thinking to myself, like, bro, don't open the goddamn thing. Because I just like thought to myself, like somebody could go in, like run inside when you open it and you turn your back or something. But, you know, I was like, okay, maybe not because I didn't see it. But I feel like that's what's gonna happen.
was a line of wet shoe prints through the aisle.
Loading bay shutters, thank you. I was like, this metal sheet gate thingy. I was struggling.
I approached it without even thinking and tried to figure out how this was even possible.
His eyes are turning red, guys.
I followed them down to the front of the store
Oh my
until I
gosh.
saw so many watery prints going all over that it was impossible to follow.
That's some Scooby-Doo
And
shit.
honestly, horrifying to know that they'd walked around the entire place.
Imagine having to clean the floors.
I ran back to the office and locked myself inside, calling the police.
Maybe you locked
and
yourself with
waiting.
him. Haha.
As I sat there, I only got more scared as I couldn't see outside the office door, and the rain pouring on the building
It was his
too
own
loud for me to
footprint.
hear anything else.
That would be funny.
After 10 minutes, the operator that had me on hold came back on the phone and said the police were right outside the building. I quickly got up and opened the door, and
Don't
right on
do
the
it.
ground was another set of watery shoe prints alongside mine, leading right up to the office I was in. I sprinted to the front and hurried to let the police in. In their search, they didn't find anyone in the store. Security tapes were reviewed not long after, showing us a man in a dark jacket entering the building through a side door that had been left unlocked.
That side door is not a side door. That's called the entrance. It opens automatically when you have customers. That's not a side door. Wait, but like, I feel like the animation's just wrong, maybe.
He clearly spotted me early on and stayed hidden until I went on break. Then
Damn,
he
that person looking not like a person.
walked around aimlessly. He didn't steal or break anything. He just went down the aisles and looked at the shelves.
Maybe
But the creepy
maybe he doesn't have any money and he's just trying to like get shelter from the rain.
and most horrifying part was when I entered the office and waited for the police. The man came up to and stood outside the office door,
He looks like an ogre. Oh my god.
waiting for several minutes as he stared at the doorknob.
Looks like
he
Baraka from Mortal Kombat. He does a bit.
was preparing for me to come out. Luckily, he decided to walk away a few minutes later.
Maybe he just wanted to talk. He's like, hey, do you guys have like, I don't know, an umbrella?
And exited the store. No more footage of him was seen after that. The man never came back, and as far as I was told, he was never found. What he was doing that night is still uncertain, and it will likely remain as an eerie
Unsolved.
uncertainty for the rest of my life.
Have any games on your phone? I wonder if he just wants to pee. You know, sometimes like I go into like a store because I really need to pee. But then some establishments need you to buy something so you can use their bathroom. And I'm like, no, I just want to pee. Okay. But yeah, interesting.